Hey, this is Katie with Wildflower Homeschool and Tiny House Homestead, and today I'm going to talk about ways that I avoid homeschool burnout. This was a tag video that was started by Homeschool for Two, and it is in the middle of summer, and this is a great time to think about ways to prevent homeschool burnout in the coming year. So I'm so glad that she posted this because I hadn't really thought about it. And I think it's great to kind of have a plan for if you do start feeling burnt out. So this will just be our second year homeschooling. Last year was our first year. And I definitely learned a whole lot in our first year of homeschooling. And I just want to say, if you're just getting started homeschooling, just be prepared to be really flexible and be willing to change your mind and your idea and concept of homeschooling a lot in the first year, because that first year is just such a great learning experience. So I'm going to kind of use what I've learned this past year to think about ways that I can avoid feeling burnt out in this coming year. And I've already kind of made changes to our homeschool. We have decided to switch to year-round homeschooling. And the reason we're doing that is just so we can be a lot more flexible, and if we need to take a break, we can. So if I do start feeling burnout and just overwhelmed, then we can just stop and take a break when I need it and when the kids need it too. I mean, sometimes they're just like, hey, we need to take a break, we're tired, or, something comes up, and it's just really flexible to do the year-round homeschooling. And it is, mid-July, and we already have 40 days complete for this coming school year. We finished up early, and we started our new school year in April, and then we've been really relaxed this summer. We went full-time from April, all of April and all of May, and now we're kind of doing really relaxed, maybe 2 to 3 day a week schooling. So we're already up at over 40 days, and I feel really relaxed about this coming year. I don't feel like I need to stress out getting the days in. And really my whole concept of I live in a state where we're supposed to do 180 days, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm a little bit more open-minded about what a school day is and how I want our learning to be more something that happens every day and isn't necessarily sit-down book work. But that might be hard to explain, or for a different video or something. But I'm kind of my view of what learning is slowly changing, getting out of that public school mindset. But anyway, okay, another thing that we're doing is kind of what I was just touching on. I've gone from more structured to a little bit more relaxed. So last year when I first started homeschooling, I had a bunch of curriculum type stuff that I wanted to complete, and I had a bunch of workbooks, and I had set curriculum for every subject. And I've kind of realized we completed all of those, but now coming into the next school year, I realized how much we actually learn just in our everyday life and using library books. So I've really phased out a lot of the set curriculum, and we're going more towards kind of like a Charlotte Mason, unschooly type approach. And we still have some curriculum, but, not a whole lot of structured curriculum that I feel like we need to do. And I'm also going to be really relaxed with our schedule. I'm generally a type A scheduled person, but I realize that doesn't really work well for our family because I do have so much other stuff going on. So we're just going to be really flexible. Every day is going to be a little bit different. And I'm not going to have structured, from 9 to 10, we're not going to do, language arts. We're just kind of going to do what we can when we can, but still get everything done. With that relaxed approach, it's kind of given me the ability to kind of see more of the big picture of things and not so much the set curriculums. So I've kind of been thinking about, in the long run, like, what do I want their education to look like when they've graduated? And I don't, there's certain things I want them to learn, and I want them to be able, to write a paper or be able to read at a high reading level, do a certain amount of math. But that is kind of stuff that they can learn it when they're ready, and I still want to push them, and I still want them to try hard and do well. But in the big picture, like, doing a whole bunch of math problems is not necessarily the way to get there. As long as they understand it and they understand the concept and they can apply it to real life, and certain things that they don't have to sit there and do 45 minutes of math every day to complete their curriculum. They can do, I want them to learn a concept, and if they get it, then we can move on to something else, and it doesn't have to be so structured. Along the lines of curriculum choices and kind of fading those out, I've decided that we're not going to have a science curriculum at all this year. We are naturally curious about science, and I have decided that, we learn enough science just in our natural curiosities, and the field trips that we go on for in our homeschool groups, and we just like to be outside, and the questions that my kids ask me are very, very science related. So I didn't feel like for this year, with my kids being in 3rd and 5th grade, that science was necessary. So since we're not doing a structured science curriculum, and we're not really doing a structured language arts curriculum, we're doing a lot of reading, and I got some grammar and stuff like that, but we don't have a structured thing. It's really going to free up our time where we can do a lot more fun activities and read a lot more. Another thing I'm deciding to do this year is to limit our scheduled activities. I am a working single parent, and last year I really felt like I was doing a disservice to my kids if I didn't make sure that they were in a lot of the homeschool co-ops, and we tried out a whole bunch of different activities, and even my kids decided that they don't want to do that many activities. We're still going to be involved in a once a week co-op where they go for 3 hours a day once a week, and they're going to be doing like a science project and a social studies project and Spanish and some other little extracurricular activities, music and art. And then we're going to go on a once a month field trip. It's going to be science related, like an ecology class, but we live about 40 miles away from the Smoky Mountains, and it's a kids camp that's in the Smoky Mountains, and they're going to be doing a class there once a month, and maybe some other little random field trips that we want to go on. Like in a couple weeks, they're going to do a survival class. See, these are all things that are science related. So that's one reason why I feel like we didn't need a science curriculum. But, I'm going to not feel guilty and force us to do a whole bunch of extracurricular activities, because it really stresses me out and my kids aren't really gaining that much from it. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try not to compare our homeschool to anybody else's, because I do watch a lot of videos and read a lot of blogs of these awesome homeschools that I really wish that I could emulate, like have a homeschool classroom and have a structured schedule. And that's kind of like what I would like, but I just realized that that's not, very possible in my current situation and in our family right now, So I'm going to stop comparing myself to them and stop wanting that, and do what's best for my family right now and the way that we homeschool, and be happy and content with that, and be proud of the way that we choose to homeschool in our own little unique, relaxed kind of way. So those are my ideas for avoiding homeschool burnout this year. If you guys have anything else that you would like to share, I would love for you to do that. What are some of the ways that you avoid homeschool burnout or are planning to avoid homeschool burnout? Is it something that you should, go ahead and plan now? I think that it was a great idea to do this tag video because I think it is something that we need to prepare for before the upcoming school year, so we have a plan in place, so maybe we can avoid stressing ourselves out too much. Thank you guys for watching.